Trump will square off in their first ever presidential debate. KBLA Talk 1580 and the Empowerment Congress are hosting a viewing party, and we're inviting you to join us for an evening of civic engagement, great food, and good vibes. Our studio space is limited, but if you would like to join us, just go to our website at KBLA1580.com and register for your chance to watch this historic presidential debate with us. Years from now, we're all likely to remember exactly where we were when this pivotal moment in American politics unfolded. So, register for your chance to join us by going to KBLA1580.com right now. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
I'm Zoe Williams, the voice of reason. If your relationship is in trouble, I'm the dude to call. Has your soulmate become your cellmate? Does black love still exist? What are your bedroom turnoffs? Fantasies and fetishes. Financial infidelity. I'm dating a fat person. Are they worth the wait? Trust me, this gonna be crazy.
How about the heavy stuff?
The child wasn't his, and he still had to pay child support.
It's a very heated topic.
How was that right?
Mama's baby, daddy's maybe.
I just have so many questions I want to ask you.
I just like to kiss it. Is there something wrong with that?
Damn.
He told me he had a vasectomy. I'm pregnant.
Betrayal has been committed.
Hit you with the bad pipes routine.
How does he maintain his humposity?
He likes it when it pinches my neck.
Why can't you open up, brother?
I'm a karate man. Karate man rules on the inside. They don't show their weaknesses.
Yeah.
How do you write women so well?
Zoe Williams,
Reason and accountability.
the voice of reason.
As time is going on, more and more guys are realizing that marriage simply is not worth it, and they're avoiding it like the plague. And it's definitely scaring the crap out of a lot of the young gals out there that want to get married one day. And men are doing it primarily for three reasons of what I've discovered. Number one, they realize the deck is stacked against them in the family courts. They get raked over the coals, and it is definitely not in their favor. Number two, they see how unhappy a lot of the men they know and their families are, long marriages that end in bad divorces, and they don't want to go through that. And number three, they see the free spirit behavior and attitudes of today's young gals, which all came about thanks to the feminist movement, and realize that is not wife material. That's why I don't want to marry, raise my kids, etc. And essentially, until those three things change, it's only going to have higher numbers of more guys avoiding marriage, and in fact, avoiding relationships altogether.
Ladies and gentlemen, the voice of reason. Back in the building. You already know what it is. Live from KBLA Talk 1580. I'm Zoe Williams. Tonight's topic, Until Taxes Do Us Part. Special guest, Charles T. Almond. He is the third. He is a tax attorney, and he is breaking down how, the number three reason for why we break up, for why we get divorces or whatever, is tax mismanagement. And I mean, he's already laying into us pretty heavily right now. He gave me this quote. Benjamin Franklin said, in this world, nothing can be said to be certain except death and taxes. Charles is here to say that taxes should never be the death of you, your relationship, or your marriage. I agree with him, right? I agree with him on this point. However, I think people view relationships as merely a source of satisfaction, and they don't understand the working parts. The working parts within themselves, the working parts within their partner, and they don't understand the working parts of marriage. When we came forward, I mentioned Benjamin Carney out of UCLA, who said the number one indicator for wealth is marriage. However, the number one indicator for poverty is divorce. And so we have Charles here now, and we also have some callers on the line. Charles, are you ready to get into the fray?
That's what makes it fun.
Let's do it, my friend. Charles, I want you to welcome Sam from Paso Robles, California. What up, Sam?
Hi.
Hey, how are you? What are your thoughts on tonight's
Thank you for
topic?
taking my call.
Oh, absolutely. Do you have a question for Charles?
Ooh. And yes, I do. My situation is that because of estrangement, I'm looking at withdrawing from a relationship. And the way to go about it is very sort of confusing because I would suppose my situation is that I would treat it in a magnanimous way. Magnanimous?
Magnanimous?
That's the way.
There you go. Come on.
And
I'm right with you. Let's do it.
The women get the raw deal, really, and they have to, take options that are not the best. But my point here is that how do I go about it legally? Because I would like to be taking care of everybody, but I would like to also protect.
So Sam, let me help you with this. You're asking Charles for help because you want to be fair, you want to take care of everybody, but you don't want to be taken advantage of. Is that your question?
Right.
Gotcha. Charles, what are your thoughts?
Well, it sounds to me you're the superior, heavier earning spouse in the relationship. Is that true?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so when it comes to tax time, April 15th, whenever you file, your extension or not, but April 15th tax day, do you and your significant other or spouse sign the tax return together?
Yes, we do.
Okay, so you're in a community property state. Do you always pay the tax? What happens in my life is people don't pay the tax. There's over 100 million people that owe IRS money. Are you one of 100 million, or are you paying your tax?
No, and I would say, actually, to say this is my wife is on it. We do pay our taxes more than we're regular.
So you every year pay your taxes. You're clean. You come out with a refund or no balance due. Is that what you're telling me?
Right. We get a refund sometimes.
Okay. Well, you're not going to run into the situation that I've devoted my life to, which is the inequity of one spouse leaving the other spouse with a mountain of debt. And trust me, we're talking about, I'm not Carl Sagan, but I'm talking about billions and billions and billions of dollars of tax debt.
Right.
So let's just say your takeaway from this is you're in the minority, you're lucky, and God bless you.
Hey, Sam, we appreciate you for calling in. Paso Robles, California. If you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call us at 1-800-920-1580. We've got time for somebody else. John, Mountain View, Hawaii. John, get in here. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic? John, you got us on speakerphone or Bluetooth? You know you can't be on?
Sir.
Okay, here we go. Talk to us, man. What are your thoughts tonight?
Quick question for the professional in the house. You did speak of a tax help for people who find themselves in an innocent situation, I suppose. What was that tax?
It's called innocent spouse relief, and it's available. It's got nothing to do with sex or gender. It's all about, were you participating in creating a tax liability that went unpaid?
Interesting.
Uh-oh. Don't say it like Senator Palpatine from Star Wars. Like, interesting. Like, why do you want to know? Talk to us.
Zo, leave us.
Leave us? Okay, leave us. Well, when he explained this in the first hour, he was talking about how there's this inequity usually there's one spouse that makes the most amount of money, that brings in the most amount of resources. So the innocent spouse relief is for the spouse that brings in the least amount. And that's what he was talking about.
That was the understanding that I was under. I was just trying to understand the title of it because, again, this is messages that are not passed along when it comes to marriage.
You're right.
Let's talk.
You're right.
Let's talk about let's talk about the two things that women do absolutely well when it comes to marriage. Number one, they love themselves. Number two, they have an excellent exit strategy.
Ooh. Well, women do initiate the majority of all divorces and breakups, so we know that. So exit strategy is part of their interaction with you. We understand that, but are you going to blame them for it? What are we doing here?
We're not blaming anything for anybody. It's called the art of being in the relationship.
Talk
and
to
where
me.
you find people at is what you have. So again, I have been divorced. I didn't go through that all that madness, and no, she didn't take half. We blessed each other.
Wait,
but nonetheless,
you're in Hawaii. I mean, you're in Hawaii. I'm trying to mix all of these words together. You're in Hawaii. So what kind of state is that with regards to marriage? Is it a community property state or is it the duke it out states?
Unknown, because I got divorced in Alaska.
I love it. Well, did y'all ever have any tax debt?
We didn't have any tax debt. I took care of everything. And yes, if it would have been a selfish human being who wanted half, she would have got it. But at the same time, I graciously was blessed with a human being who was not selfish and took accountability for everything that we both failed in.
Well, guess what? You've got more life to live, my friend. And if you don't have a beauty in your eye, a significant other in your life, and you get one, the takeaway here is pay attention on April 15th, because whoever that dance partner is, if they're not on the line with you, 1040, eyeball to eyeball, you could set yourself up for more pain and disaster than you can possibly imagine.
And we understand all. That's the reason why, just like women, as they state, I need to marry somebody equal or greater. God bless you.
Wait, no. You don't get to leave on that note, because you and Charles, I have questions for the both of you. I want to get both perspectives here.
Go ahead, sir.
I see everything Charles is talking about as a personal responsibility, right?
Yes, sir.
I don't see it any different than having sex. Men will say, well, I'm not going to wear this condom. And then when the girl gets pregnant, they'll be like, hey, what happened? Whose baby? Or, what in the world? And I feel like, you understand, like, it's your duty to kind of know the state you're in. Is it community property? It's your duty to kind of know, like, how am I going to do this if I'm going to get married to someone? It's not just the ceremony. I keep telling you, it's easy to acquire the ceremony. It's easy to acquire the dress, the ring, the bridegroom. It's easy to get all of that, the bridesmaids. All of that stuff is easy. What's not easy is the maintenance of marriage, the maintenance of the business of marriage. And just like you're responsible for putting that condom on yourself, you're responsible for knowing what kind of taxes affect, your marriage in the state that you're in. What are your thoughts on that, John, and then Charles?
Okay, Mr. Zoe Williams, if I could reiterate what you stated on the state of things.
Come on.
Not just the state that you're in, but the state of yourself in the relationship with the state of the individual you're trying to marry.
Talk to me.
What happened to the spiritually equally yoked? What happened to trying to have the mental state of the same thing? Are you going in the path that I'm going in or no?
That's window
That's
dressing.
all I'm trying.
That's window dressing. That's icing. You know that. Come on, Charles. You know that.
Yeah, I know that. But also, I'm looking at a human being in their rare form. And I know I got to be pliable to their changes, their atmosphere, and understanding their get it when they get it.
Interesting. Charles,
but
your
also
thoughts?
Also the work that needs to take place in the journey. But Doc, the professional, please proceed.
Stay with me. Charles, your thoughts?
The dynamics of the relationships between human beings ends at the front door of the IRS.
Ooh.
Damn.
It's in that big trash can outside of it don't matter.
Wow.
Whoa.
I'm flabbergasted. You got to say it one more time. It ends at the door. Wait, say it one more time.
It ends at the front door of the IRS. It just doesn't matter. All these dynamics that are wonderful and should be, it just stops. It can't get through the threshold of the front door of the IRS. Can't do it. You can't take that with you. You have got to stand up on April 15th on tax day. If you do nothing else on your next marriage, your next relationship, you get on. Everybody's got to pay the taxes. You know that. On April 15th, if you're filing with somebody else, if you're not there at the moment that's being signed, then I would tell you you've got a 9/10 chance of you having a tax debt and didn't know it. And the crying comes from males. The crying comes from female clients that I didn't know it. If I hadn't opened that IRS letter, I didn't know we owed $75,000. And that's low dollars. I'm just trying to relate to everybody.
Right.
I mean, to go 3 or 4 years not paying. And look, 2/3 of America are 1099 wage earners. The day of W-2s, wage withholding, that's dinosaurs dying. 1099s, nobody's got any wages withheld. They come to tax day. They owe Social Security tax, income tax, penalty and interest for not paying estimated tax. When you see the amount on a normal 1099 earner tax return and 2 spouses 1099, a lot of times they'll just walk away and not sign the damn thing.
Okay, wait. Let me just ask. Is ignorance bliss in this situation? When we come forward, the voice of reason shall continue this barn burner.
Reasons. The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580. Tabitha Smiley's new book, The Covenant with Black America, 20 years later, is now on sale everywhere. This classic text shot to #1 on the New York Times bestsellers list almost 2 decades ago. If you have the original book, you will surely want to get this 20th anniversary edition with powerful new contributions from today's leading voices. This 20th anniversary edition presents a compelling blend of historical insights and contemporary urgency in this critical and unprecedented election year. Get your copy of The Covenant with Black America 20 years later today. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Stay Housed LA has the resources you need to know your rights and the legal support to back them up. The COVID-19 pandemic has cost people their jobs and livelihoods. This has left an estimated 1/3 of households not being able to make rent and facing losing their homes. This is a fear no one in our community should have to face. You have rights, though, and Stay Housed LA is here to help. Stay Housed LA is a partnership between the County of Los Angeles, the City of Los Angeles, and local community and legal service providers. Together, they provide tenants with the information and support needed to exercise their rights so they can remain safely in their homes. Find out more about your rights by participating in a virtual tenant workshop. Get the legal assistance you need. Find additional resources in Los Angeles County and the City of Los Angeles. Stay connected to Stay Housed LA County for updates. This and more at stayhousedla.org. Stay connected to Stay Housed LA for updates. This and more at stayhousedla.org. That's stayhousedla.org. Or call their hotline at 213-694-0040. We've got your black with a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick. And it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors. Use as directed. Vapo Stick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower Max use for adults only.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer whenever I want?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. 94% of Sleep Number smart sleepers report better sleep. J.D. Power ranks Sleep Number #1 in customer satisfaction with mattresses purchased in-store. And now, during our biggest sale of the year, save 50% on the Sleep Number Limited Edition smart bed. Limited time. For J.D. Power 2023 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
You know you want some more. More. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
I want everybody to understand. I'm going to look into this camera right here, so I hope you see me very well here. I want everybody to understand and remember that everything I say from this point, she backed it up, all right? So it's basically zero, all right? You have no hope, no chance. Past the 20 years, and that comes from experience. It also is the experience.
You have no chance of passing 20 years, you're saying?
No. You can pass 20 years. You'll probably be roommates, and you'll probably be overweight in a busted Pillsbury biscuit can, or you'll probably be the exception to the rule. But the data shows us, plus the experience that she expressed, that it's a very difficult thing. And this is what I want men to know.
Yeah.
It is very difficult. Many people will simplify it for you. They will say, oh, just do this and do that, and they will lead you on a wild goose chase. And that's my perspective. That's all that I offer. I tell men to not get married, especially when you don't have leverage. However, I also tell you, do not listen to people who simplify this. This is a very complicated thing that most people fail at miserably.
Got it.
And this is what I want people to understand.
Let me tee up Hafiz, because you used a few things there about not getting married. You said sometimes
you'll
turn
have leverage.
Okay, if you don't have leverage, we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
And you talk about turning into roommates. Well, this guy is the roommate, the host of the Roommate channel. When you're hearing this, you've been married 1 year. And by the way, this guy's a sharp, informed, very intentional guy. My assumption is he didn't just trip and fall into marriage.
He's seen myself before.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So you've been very, you're a calculated dude.
100%.
Okay? So when you're hearing Greg say this, and even when you're hearing Ali say this, how are you processing this information?
No, this is really good, and I'm excited about how this conversation can develop, because I think you've maybe did you react to me and AMS's conversation a couple of years ago about marriage?
I didn't react to it. I didn't do a reaction video. But I made a comment about it.
Okay, you made a comment about it. Okay, so
it sounds like Charles has shot the commenters, shot that guy's statement in the foot. Because what leverage do you have if you're in a community property state that will provide the innocent spouse relief? See, I think a lot of guys think if I have money, I'm somehow safe. Charles, why is that the thought? And is that always true? Does the person with the most money and resources always win?
Absolutely not.
That's what.
Oh my God! I mean, when we deal with people with tax debt, they come in from broken marriages, and when the lesser earning spouse has escaped the liability through innocent spouse, and they still have now all the liability. When IRS doesn't do innocent spouse, then they'll take both refunds from both spouses, and they'll chase down both spouses with notices of balance due and the proverbial knock on the front door by the tax man. They have got to understand. People just have to. It's something. Where do you learn this? Tell me, so where you don't learn it in elementary school, you don't learn it in high school, you don't learn it in college, and you don't learn it in law school, buddy.
Right.
When IRS comes knocking, when you do your taxes, and again, 2/3 of America have unwithheld income, which means everyone who's got 1099 owes.
Everybody
and do
can
they
get
have
that knock on the door is what you're saying.
Absolutely. On April 15th, you've got this large tax liability and you send it in because the law says you have to, then all of a sudden you're living a second life of fear. And here, I'll tell you right now, the easiest thing in the world to get rid of is tax debt.
Why is it so easy? Charles,
Because
John wants to know this too. Talk to us.
IRS only has 3 forms of resolution. Full pay. Now, our first guest full paid every tax return. He's cut free into society, got no worries or concerns from his government. But the guy who didn't full pay, which is I'm telling you, 100 million people didn't pay. So you've got 2 choices. You're down to 2 choices because you don't have full pay. You have part pay and no pay. And what nobody knows and nobody's told your audience is that 90% of America qualifies for a government-authorized 0 pay plan.
What?
Wow. 90% of America qualifies for a government-authorized 0 pay plan. It has to be asked for. You have to petition for it.
Hold on. First off,
but you can. That's your walk away.
Wait, hold on, Charles. First, I need the organs. I need the organs. And then when we come forward, Charles is going to explain to us just how we can ask for the no pay option. Let's get it.
Nothing wrong with me loving you, baby, no. And giving yourself to me can never be wrong if the love is true. Oh, baby. Ooh, don't you know how sweet and wonderful life can be?
He's on fire tonight. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. The White House says enough is enough when it comes to school shooting. Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre, who is black, said both President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris have been briefed on the Georgia high school shooting that killed 4 and injured at least 9 others this morning. She added that while the president and vice president have taken action to reduce gun violence, more must be done. Jean-Pierre said the White House continues to urge Congress to take action, like instituting a universal background check and a ban on assault weapons. Baltimore is receiving millions of dollars from a settlement over e-cigarettes. The city filed suit against Juul Labs in 2020, alleging its products and deceptive marketing campaigns aimed at minors endangered the health of residents. Under the agreement, Juul has the option of making a single payment of $7.5 million by the end of 2024, or 3 payments totaling $8 million over the next 3 years. Black Mayor Brandon Scott notes Baltimore opted out of a global settlement that would have paid the city only $1.9 million. That's the latest. I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Hey DQ fans, mark your calendars. Thursday, July 25th is Miracle Treat Day 2024. $1 or more of every Blizzard treat sold at participating DQ locations benefits your local children's hospital. Remember, July 25th, only at DQ. Happy tastes good.
moment we've all been waiting for has finally arrived. On Tuesday, September 10th at 6 p.m. Pacific Time, Kamala Harris and Donald Trump will square off in their first ever presidential debate. KBLA Talk 1580 and the Empowerment Congress are hosting a viewing party, and we're inviting you to join us for an evening of civic engagement, great food, and good vibes. Our studio space is limited, but if you would like to join us, just go to our website at KBLA1580.com and register for your chance to watch this historic presidential debate with us. Years from now, we're all likely to remember exactly where we were when this pivotal moment in American politics unfolded. So, register for your chance to join us by going to KBLA1580.com right now. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
For all of us, this generation and the next, there is simply no place in our lives for litter. And yet, it's everywhere we look. And unfortunately, it does belong to all of us. So, let's come together and create a litter-free, clean California, once and for all. Remember to properly dispose of your trash and recycling. Secure truckloads with tarps to keep debris from flying out. Clean out your car when you're at a gas station. Take pride in your community by organizing a cleanup event. Or join a cleanup event near you. Zero litter is the goal. Join us at cleanca.com. That's cleanca.com. Let's do it together. Brought to you by Caltrans. cleanca.com.
Lowe's knows saving pros time and money means getting the job done easier. Right now, save 10% on Georgia Pacific vinyl siding panels. Plus, save an additional 20% when you buy in bulk. And get free same-day delivery to the job site when you order by 2 p.m. Because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Offer valid through 9/4. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
If we're the ones disproportionately impacted by these climate catastrophes,
Why should we be silent?
turning up the volume all year long on the climate conversation for KBLA Talk 1580. KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 believes in community empowerment. LA's 99 neighborhood councils form the grassroots level of the Los Angeles city government. The system was created to connect LA's diverse communities to City Hall. While neighborhood council board members are volunteers, they are also public officials elected to office by the members of their community. Neighborhood councils advocate on issues like homelessness, housing, land use, emergency preparedness, public safety, parks, transportation, and sustainability. They also provide local expertise on the delivery of city services to their various communities. Neighborhood councils are open to participation by anyone who is a part of the fabric of daily life in said community. This includes those who live, work, or own property or a business. If you are interested in stepping up to join your local neighborhood council, visit www.empowerla.org. That's empowerla.org. It's time to think globally, but act locally. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
Watch out! You got me!
The galaxy is safe once again.
In the pretend universe, kids play with pretend guns. In the real world, it's up to us to make sure they don't get their hands on a real gun. If you have a gun in the house, keep it locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
There's been a general decline in marriage, but behind that general decline is a more interesting story. I think it's important we try to understand why people do get married in the first place. For some people, of course, it's a religious matter. It's a covenantal relationship. I think for many more people, there's an economic element to it. There's obviously the companionship and love. You fall in love and want to spend the rest of your life with someone. So there's a romantic element to marriage. And another reason was because they got pregnant. The so-called shotgun wedding. There was a sense that if you were bringing a new life into the world, that should be done within marriage. And there's probably a bit of status signaling too, sometimes, and this may be more true today than it was in the past, that being married is a way of signaling success and status within a society. And so there's a blend of reasons between religion, romance, economics, and status that have traditionally led people to the marital state.
Very interesting. Tonight's topic has just been on complete fire. I left John and Charles with the question when we came forward. Do you guys remember the question?
I'm still asking for the 0% that 90% of us
the no pay
could apply.
Yes. He
on
gave us three options. One was pay up. The other one was pay in pieces, pay away, not lay away, but pay away. And then he said there's a no pay option, and he said 99% of everybody knows nothing about it. John, do you want to question Charles about this and how to do it?
That's what I'm waiting for him to expound on. Go ahead, proceed, boss.
I am happy to. After 40 years, I have done what I call a layaway of the knowledge every taxpayer needs in America. It's called tax closure. You can go to any search engine and type in TAXCLOSURE, and it explains it quickly, easily, with videos and some short little sentences of this, that, and the other. But here's the reality. 90% of America qualifies. You can 1099 income, run up tax bill, run up tax bill, run up tax bill. But IRS cannot ask somebody not to pay the rent. IRS cannot ask somebody not to have a car payment. IRS cannot ask somebody not to eat. So what happens when you're evaluated for your ability to pay, and this is what tax closure does. I've created a moving sidewalk through tax debt. In less than a day, whatever you owe IRS, you can get on my moving sidewalk, and at the end of the time, IRS will certify that you're unable to pay and have a nice day. It's all about IRS has to give you your props. They have to give you the ability to live. And when you look at the ordinary and necessary living expense allowance at IRS and what you have after you pay all those, 9 out of 10 people don't have the ability to pay back tax. Because guess what is most important to IRS? Back tax is milk's out of the glass. What's most important to them is that you're going to pay your estimated tax. Back tax is the last seat on the bus. Paying forward tax, you've made 3 months of 1099 income, they want an estimated tax payment. And when you take to every taxpayer in America's ordinary necessary living expenses that IRS has to allow you, and then factor in you're going to pay your way forward, nothing's left over for a back tax. Can I make it any easier?
Wow. John.
Cool.
Hey, John.
Very cool, bro, yo.
Hey, John, I appreciate you, man, for participating with me tonight. John from Mountain View, Hawaii. If you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580. Now, Charles, that was a bombshell. Tax closure. Just that simple. Get on the sidewalk, right? Love that. Now, let me ask you this. For couples who want to protect their finances, because I've heard all types of fantastic stories. I don't know if they're true or not. I've heard that the Kardashians have a church, and they qualify as a church at 501c3, and they take
Correct.
And they put their wealth in it. I mean, they go to church and they pray and they do all of that, but it's really a tax shelter. What are some great tax shelters that are legal for couples that might want to protect, their wealth?
I'm not a tax shelter man. I'm a clean it up man. I clean up. You make the mess. I clean it up.
Yes.
I can't tell you about tax shelters because most of the people promoting them are in the jail.
See? That's what I thought. Soon as I heard that story, I thought to myself, why aren't they in jail? I don't want the Kardashians to go to jail. I'm just saying, I felt like the rich gets richer. They get to start a church and start praying and, hey, But let me ask you this. Is it cheaper to keep her? We've heard that so many times. It's cheaper to keep her. Do you think that's true? Or do you think you're better off, A, not getting married, or if you do get married, just simply don't get divorced? Talk to me.
It's just a matter of numbers. How wide is the disparity between the superior earning spouse and the lesser earning spouse? If you're in a community property state, is it cheaper to keep her? 100% of the time. When you're going to the non-community property states, and each spouse takes a stool on the opposite side of the ring, then, it can be. It depends on who's got the ability to best defend against the spouse.
And it's not always who's got the most money, because your spouse could probably come up with a story that you abused them or financially, or does financial infidelity play a role in these cases?
Yes, absolutely.
Talk to me.
Well, because it happens first to the IRS. Nobody wants to fully disclose all their income. Are you kidding me?
Oh.
And then the spouse is next. Big brother government gets the first chop of less reporting, and it carries downstream to the other spouse. If they've done it to Uncle Sam, you think they're going to hesitate 10 seconds on the spouse? That's why I say you got to be in the room when the tax return is signed. Otherwise, if you're not in the room, expect to take the Bob Marley chains of tax debt out the door with you when you leave.
Wow. So it's really, when people say marriage is a business, they're really not joking. Not only is it a business, you can't be a silent partner, apparently.
If you are, get ready. You can't be silent. You're not there signing the tax return, and your mate, 1099 mate, comes home, lavish car, lavish vacations, and he only shows the IRS he's making $50,000 a year, although y'all just spent $50,000 on the trip. If the other spouse is there at the time he's sending in to IRS a $50,000 tax return, if they can't just by olfactory reasoning smell a rat, well, then they're deserving of what's about to happen.
Oh, my goodness. So many people are totally oblivious to all of this. They'll go on a trip and won't think anything of it. And then later on, when that tax bill comes due, if they're not in the room.
If they're not in the room, that's the takeaway here. Be in the room, and if you can smell if it's true.
Gosh. So you have to really be a CEO of your relationship. You have to be.
Yes, sir.
Because if not, the whole enterprise is flying blind, apparently. And
that's predominant in America. What we're talking about is predominant. This is a wake-up call, my friend.
I want to know, how do people get in contact with you? Like, if somebody wanted to procure your services, how would they connect with you?
My flagship firm, where we do representation to American taxpayers in all 50 states, is called Taxpayers Clinic. And if you want the moving sidewalk through tax debt, quick, easy, same day, it's Tax Closure.
I'm on Tax Closure right now. This is where I got your bio, and I'm sitting here reading it going, wow, it's called Tax Closure. This is deep. This is deep. Charles, have you written any books on taxes? And have you ever considered doing so?
I've done some white papers, but books, I'm too busy helping America. I don't have time to write a book.
It seems like, and on this particular show, we talk about the philosophy, the psychology, the spirituality of relationships. And what I often say is, it is so much on that end to deal with, you know, your emotions, your childhood, how you were raised, what you went through, your deep-seated issues. But what you've just uncovered here and now is that on the opposite end, the business side, the financial side, it's just as much, just in the reverse. This is the practical side. This is how we keep the lights on, how we keep eating, how we keep living good. And if you're not as adroit on this side as you are on the other side, your relationship will be problematic, right?
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
Gosh, this is heavy. I try to tell people all day in America, listen, if you don't deal with those inner wounds, those childhood wounds, they're going to come out in your relationship. They're going to contaminate your relationship. But now you got me looking at the receipt. Sometimes I don't even take the receipt from a date. You want the receipt, sir? No. Now I got to go start keeping receipts because, Lord, you just opened up a whole can of whoop. You know what I mean. You just opened up a can on us, man. Oh, man.
It's the wake-up call, baby. It's the wake-up call. Gosh. Nobody thinks about this until it's too late. And I'll tell you what, when you've got this mountain of tax debt and you don't know when your bank account is your bank account, you don't know if your wages are going to be taken and you have no more wages,
right.
Then if you don't pay attention, that's your reward. You don't pay attention, your reward is you wake up, the IRS took the bank account. There's not a hearing. They fill out a form. Congress gave them more power than any other creditor on the planet.
Wow. Wait, stay with us. When we come forward, I have yet another question. Gosh, Charles is cooking.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
To help combat climate change, LADWP is helping neighborhoods have better access to electric vehicles by awarding nearly $130 million in EV rebates to customers just like you. From big savings on used EVs to building new charging plazas, LADWP is charging ahead to help all Angelinos experience the benefits of EVs. Get rebates of up to $4,000 for a used EV and $1,750 for a charger. Learn more at ladwp.com/EV. That's ladwp.com/EV. With reported hate crimes rising in recent years, California has responded through outreach efforts across state government and in collaboration with community-based organizations for the launch of CA versus Hate. This non-emergency, multilingual hate crime and incident reporting hotline provides an anonymous reporting option for victims and witnesses of hate acts reported in 15 different languages through the online portal and in over 200 languages when calling the hotline. Report anonymously by calling 833-866-4283, Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. or online at any time at cavshate.org. Hey, LA residents, it's planting season and the perfect time to get shade trees growing around your home. LADWP and City Plants are giving every resident up to 7 free trees. That's right, 7 free trees delivered right to your door. Trees are great for the environment, help improve air quality, and can help you save on your bill when you use less air conditioning to stay cool indoors. Learn more at ladwp.com/free trees. That's ladwp.com/free trees.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 believes in community empowerment through the arts. Tia Chucha Central Cultural is on a mission to transform community in the Northeast San Fernando Valley and beyond through ancestral knowledge, the arts, literacy, and creative engagement. The Northeast San Fernando Valley has a population of about 500,000, the size of the city of Oakland, yet it has no bookstores, art galleries, or full-fledged cultural spaces until Tia Chucha's opened its doors in 2001. Founded by renowned poet and activist Luis Rodriguez, Tia Chucha's Cultural Center provides a year-round free or low-cost arts and literacy bilingual intergenerational programming in mural painting, music, dance, writing, visual arts, healing art sessions, and healing talking circles. Activities also include Mexica, Aztec dance, indigenous cosmology, philosophy, and 2 weekly open mic nights, one in Spanish, the other in English. In addition, they host author readings, film screenings, and art exhibits. To express yourself, heal yourself, attend an event, or volunteer, please visit www.tiachucha.org. That's TIACHUCHA.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Ladies and gentlemen, you already know my playlist is my co-host. You know how I do. We had Donny Hathaway and Marvin. Now, I'm not going to ask you who's your favorite. They both were on fire, 2 legends. And I just love the flavor that the songs and the music adds to the topic. Right? I love the flavor because, yes, they're R&B and they're singing about love, and here we are talking about business. Tonight's topic was fantastic. My guest was out of this world, and I would love to have him back on. It was none other than Charles T. Ullman. We so appreciate you coming on. I want you to talk to people about, and I want to say it correct, Charles T. Ullman III. I want you to address this final question. Pretty Brown Mimi, she said, which is better to file? She says, should you file as a couple, or if you're married, does that have better benefits to either file as single or file as a couple? What are your thoughts? She says file as couple, file as single.
Let's use a little common sense here. If the two spouses, let's say, just as an example, one spouse earns $20,000, one spouse earns $40,000. If you're one dimension away, 40-20. If 20 and 20 is 40, if you're in that category, married filing joint, take it to the bank. It saves money every time. But if you have a spouse that's making $200,000 and a spouse making $20,000, you file married filing separate. Because the woman that made 20 or the man that made $20,000, the lesser spouse, is going to pay tax at the higher rate. The man or the woman making $200,000 is in a 3-time higher tax rate. It's a matter of numbers. That's what we've talked about all night. You follow the numbers. You can't get it wrong. If you pay no attention, you're in tax debt, and they're coming for you.
Listen. That's the litmus test. Find out if they really want to be with you. Oh, when the money comes into play, you're going to see. They're going to choose the money. I believe people choose the money. What are your thoughts on that?
Every time.
Every time. You think they're in love with you. They're going to choose. I'm not coming down to your tax bracket. Or would you bring me up to your tax bracket? If you love me, you would. No, I don't know. I don't know. That's interesting. That's very interesting. One more time, where can they find you? Do you have a phone number? The website? Give them all the information, my friend.
Yeah, the 800 number for our taxpayers clinic is 800-398-7064, and that's our one-on-one. We take a client, we handhold the client, and we take them into tax relief on a one-on-one basis. But as I'm 40 years into this, and there's time to share the bounty and the benefit of my knowledge, that's when I created a moving sidewalk through tax debt. On my taxpayers clinic, it's one-on-one. On tax closure, I can help 1 million people a day, and there's 100 million people to help.
Wow. Well, let me just say, truly appreciate you. Would love to have you back whenever you're free to do so. You were an outstanding guest. I appreciate you. Thank you for jumping in.
You bet. Thank you again.
All righty. Hey, we start the conversation. It's up to you to finish it. The Voice of Reason is always on fire with the world's greatest relationship talk show. Yeah, I said it. I'm like LeBron. I'm the greatest. I'm the GOAT. You can call me GOAT. When we come forward, tomorrow will be my Friday. Y'all already know I got another topic lined up for you. Holla.
Said I love you more than you'll ever know.